Pastor, for allowing me to come before you guys on today. If you will go to your Bibles in Genesis chapter 37, verse 15, you will find our text.
All right. Hallelujah.
Let me know you have it, that by the sound of amen.
Amen.
37. Now a certain man found him, and there he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, "What are you seeking?" So he said, "I am seeking my brothers. Please tell me where they have gone to feed their flocks." And the man said, "They have departed from here, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. Now when they saw him afar, even before he came near them, they conspired against him, thinking to kill him. They said to one another, "Look, this dreamer is coming. Come therefore, and let us now kill him and cast him into some pit. And we shall say, some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dreams." And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, "Let us not kill him." And Reuben said to them, "Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit, which is in the wilderness, and do not lay a hand on him, that might he deliver him out of their hands and bring them back to his father." So it came to pass, when Joseph had come to his brother, they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him. Then they looked at him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty, there was no water in it. And they sat down and ate a meal. Then they lifted their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. There were camels bearing spices, balm, and myrrh, and they were on their way down to Egypt. So Judah his brothers, "What profit is there if we kill our brother?
No.
And conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hands be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh." And his brothers listened. Then the Midianite traders passed by. So the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit, and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. And they took Joseph to Egypt.
Man.
I'm going to stop right there for the time being. Now here in the text, we have Joseph on his way to meet his brothers, sent by his father to deliver a meal to them as they worked. Now, when we read the text, it says that they plotted against him to kill him. Now, when you think about this, that kind of when I thought about it, it troubled my spirit, because they're his brothers, his own flesh and blood, the people that he grew up with, the people that guided him, the people that broke bread with him, plotted to kill him only because he was favored by God, he was favored by his father, and he was called.
Man.
Now, when I read it, I kind of thought about myself a little bit, because here I am, called and young. I have moments when I get a message from God and I go to tell somebody, but they don't like what I hear. They don't like what they get told, so they begin to have hatred in their heart. Now, just like Joseph's brothers, they had hatred in their heart for him. Only because of the dreams that God had given him. Only because of the prophecies that God had given. Now, because they plotted against him, they shouldn't have did that in the first place. That's why that's flesh and blood. You know that's all you got in the world.
Amen.
Besides God. Now, they sell him off into slavery. So when you think about slavery, the first thing that comes to your mind is bondage. So here, he's bound, going off to a far land, far from his family, far from his father, the one that loved him most. But some of y'all probably like, oh, that's horrible. That's a terrible thing. I couldn't imagine it, but I just want to let y'all know that it's all right.
Amen.
Why? You may ask. I know y'all wondering why that's all right, but let me tell you. Because in the Word of God, it says in Romans 8:28, and we know that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And those that are called according to his purpose. So from the beginning of this text, we know that Joseph is called. We know that he loves God, because in order to be called, you gotta love God.
Amen.
Now, if we go back to the text, we also see that he was taken to Egypt. Now, if we go to chapter 39, it says, now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and a Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him, some of the Ishmaelites, who had taken him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man. And he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made him prosperous in all that he did with his hands. So Joseph found favor in his sight and served him. Then he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had, he put under his authority. I'm going to stop right there. Now here we have Joseph going from a poor boy living with his father, hated by his brothers, betrayed and sold into slavery, being put into bondage. Now, I don't know about y'all, but when you're bound, you can't really do nothing. You don't have freedom to do what you need to do. But that's all right. Why? Because when you're in bondage, God got you. So basically, we have Joseph here as a slave. Now, in the beginning, he's a slave. So they have him walking from Dothan all the way down to Egypt. Now, I could imagine that is a far walk. Now, while you have others on their camels riding and taking it easy, you have poor Joseph, shackled, being dragged along the way. Now, I'm pretty sure because Egypt is a hot area, it's a desert area, that it was hot. So I could imagine him being tired and they forcing him to continue to go, even though he did not want to. Now, when he comes to Egypt, he is then sold off to an officer of Pharaoh. So therefore, he is still a slave, but now he just has a place to lay his head. Now, even then, though, that place was still a little poor, I can imagine. All he had was probably a pillow and one blanket. But once again, that's all right.
All right now. It's all right.
I don't think y'all really caught that. Even though he only had a pillow and a blanket, and he was a slave, it was all right. Even though he was bound and couldn't do what he wanted to do and was being forced to serve somebody, he did not know it was all right. Now, if we go back to our text, verse 4, it says, so Joseph found favor in his sight and served him. then made him overseer of his house. Now that's when that is for my good kicks in.
All right now.
You see, he goes to low accommodations at a Motel 8 to the Hilton. You see, he goes from not really having anything to having all that he could want.
Amen.
You see why? Because he was then made an overseer of his house. Now, everything that the officer had was put under Joseph's authority. So whatever he needed, all you had to do was say, hey, this is what I need, so I need you to bring it to me right now. So therefore, whatever it is that he wanted, he brought to him. My God, my God, my God. Now, in Psalms 90, verse 17, it says, let the favor of God be upon us and confirm for us the work of our hands. Yes, confirm to us the work of our hands. Now you see, right then and there, obviously since Joseph was a slave, that's all he could do was work with his hands. Now you see, that was a setup right there. You see, the devil don't really know what he be doing. You see, he put us in situations where all we can do is really do what God needs us to do.
Right.
He put us in situations where God is right there. He put us in situations when we're doing exactly what God needs us to do, what God has called us to do, what God is purposing us to do. He ain't nothing but a footstool setting us up, getting us where we need to go.
All right now. Come on now.
Now here's Joseph as a young boy working in the fields with his brothers, then being kept at home, being favored by his father because he was the youngest, the last child born to him, his father, by the wife he had that had passed on. So because of that, when you have a last of something, that's something that you cherish. Now, your child is always something that you cherish. Now, let's say you're with somebody and they die, and all you have left of that person is the child. You begin to hold on to that child for dear life. You begin to find favor, and you give them whatever they want, whatever they need, because that's probably what that other person would have done. So here we have the father making a coat for Joseph. Now, Joseph being called, that bothered his brothers already. Now, the fact that the father favored him, that was a problem right then. Because, you see, they were like, we've been here long. We deserve more. Ain't that always how it is?
Ain't that how it always is?
So the father makes a coat for Joseph, and that angers the brothers. Now, because Joseph is called and gifted by God, he begins to have dreams. And in those dreams, he tells his brothers that one day they will bow down before him. Now that bothered them right there because they like, what you mean? You the youngest. If anything, you bound before us. So right then, that gave him even more reason to hate him, but that's all right.
All right.
Because it was for his good. My God. So many times in our life, we have situations where we can't understand what's going on. That's why I love the fact that my mother sung, I Won't Complain. You see, because when we get in these situations, we begin to murmur. We begin to complain. We begin to huff and puff. We begin to say, God, why me? Why this? Why is this going on, God? I don't want to go through this, God. If it's not one thing, it's another.
Amen.
But I just came to let you know today that it's for your good.
Amen.
Now, one of my uncle's favorite scriptures is Numbers 23 and 19. Because it says that God is a man that he shall not lie. Now, last time I checked, the word was God. Because at the beginning it says the world was without form, but the word was with it and the word was God. Amen. So whatever is in here, whatever God said is going to come to pass. Why? Because in Numbers 23 and 19 it says that God is a man that he shall not lie.
All right,
so
now.
He tells you, whatever he puts in your spirit to say, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Now, like Joseph said, his brothers would one day bow down. Now, because that's what God said it was going to happen. Yeah. Why? Because that's what he said. He's not going to lie. Hallelujah. Now, in our lives, when we begin to murmur and complain, that shows God that we're not really trusting and believing in him. That shows God that we don't really believe in him. That shows God that we're not trusting and standing on his word, his promise to us.
Hallelujah.
Come on,
Now,
teach us.
here we have Joseph.
Come on.
A young boy. Far from sin. Favored by all that come to meet him. Blessed by God exceedingly. Put into bondage. Sold off into slavery. Doing work and things that he shouldn't even be doing.
All right.
In a place far from his family. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty sure that when you're away from somebody that you love for a long time, that begins to take a toll on you.
All right.
You begin to worry about this person. You begin to stress out and wonder, well, I wonder how they're doing. I wonder if they're still thinking about me. But that was all right. Why? Because it was for his good. Now, the reason whatever happens to you is for your good is because, like the word says, if you are called to his purpose, if you love him more than anything, he got your back.
Man.
Now here we have Joseph once again in the text, finding out that he is favored because of the work that he does. Now if we go to verse 6 of chapter 39, it says, thus he left all that he had in Joseph's hands, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and in appearance. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast longing eyes on Joseph.
Right.
Now, that's always how it is. When you got something good, don't the devil want to show up? Now, it says that the wife said, lay with me. But he refused and said to his master's wife, look, my master does not know what it is within in the house. And he was committed all that he has into his hand. There is no one greater in this house than I, nor has he kept back anything from me but you. Because you are his wife, how then can I do this great wickedness? So there we have Joseph saying, I can't do this with you. I don't care what you think about me. I just can't lay with you. Why? Because that's going to get me in trouble with my master. Not only is it going to get me in trouble with my master, but he says, and it is sin against God.
Man.
So here we have Joseph turning away from sin. Now I could imagine God saying, attaboy, there you go. Do what you need to do. You see, now I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty sure this is for the men right now, that you done seen a woman walking down the street and she looked pretty good to you, but then you think about it and you say, well, I got my wife or I got my girl right here, so let me not do this.
Man.
I'm pretty sure some of you women then saw some men that look pretty appetizing to you, but then you say no because you know what, I need to honor my vows. I need to honor the standards that God has set for us.
Teach us.
That's when things start working for you good.
Amen.
That ain't working out. Right. The husband that ain't doing what he needs to do, he start acting right. That situation that's hindering you, it starts to turn around. That sickness in your body, it may hinder you for a while, but let me tell you, it's for your good. It sets you up for a great testimony. And that testimony gives God glory. And that glory is set up for you. There you go.
Amen.
Somebody catching on today. Somebody catching on.
Come on, Ray.
I want to review some things about Joseph. He was favored by his father. He was hated by his brothers. And he was in bondage, sold as a slave. But that was for his good. Yeah. Why? Because he ended up going from the bottom to the top. From a low place to a high place. From poor to rich. Now, so many of us come to situations where we don't know what we're going to do. We get sick in our body, but that's all right. We get aches and pains here and there, but that's all right.
Right.
Why? Because in Romans 8 and 28 it says, it's
For my
Right
good.
now, come on, somebody. Come on, I need you to do that one more time. It's for your what?
My good.
Come on now. Say it like you mean it now. If you know that it's for your good, I need some people to stand up right
Come
now.
on now. Yes.
Where you said, God, I'm tired right now. But
Yes, yes.
God, I'm weak in my body right now, but it's for my good. God, my kids ain't acting right, but it's for my good. God, I'm tired, but it's for my good. God, I ain't got no money in the bank, but the bills are due, but it's for my good. God, I'm not evicted, but it's for my good.
Come on now.
God, I'm weak, but it's for my good. God, I don't know where I'm about to turn to, but it's for my good. God, I don't know where my next blessing is coming from, but it's for my good. God, mama done left me, daddy gone. I ain't got no family left, but it's for your good.
Come on now, Ray. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Come on, Ray. Yes. Yes. Come on, Ray. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
It's for your good.
Thank you.
It's setting you up for something greater.
All right.
Now, a while ago, I had brought a word called, have you been considered?
Come on now. That was good.
Now, I'm going to let y'all know a little bit about it. Now, I said that when you're considered, no matter what you go through, it's okay. When hell and high water come your way, it's because you've been considered. Not because you did something wrong, but because God looked upon you and said, you know what, you're great. I can do some things with you. So let me just put you right here and consider you. Let me see how you going to act when all hell breaks loose. Let me see how you going to act when you get sick in your body and you can't get well, or so man say. But it's for your good, it's for your good. Because when you come out of this storm, when you come out of this hell, when you come out of this high water, I got you in the palm of my hand.
Yes, yes.
Take you off my spinning wheel, you're going to shine as pure gold.
Yes.
When you come out the fiery furnace,
Yes.
you're going to be shining like never before.
Yes.
You're going to look like diamonds.
Come on, Ray.
Like gold.
Yes.
More valuable than anything in this world.
Yes.
It kills me because the devil is such a fool. He sets you up for things that's for your good. He may come and break your car down. He may put some sickness in your body. Why? Because you've been considered. Not only that, because it's for your good. Like Joseph, he got sold off into bondage. He got sold by his brothers. He was betrayed by his family. His very own flesh and blood. But it was for his good. Just like when you get sick in your body and you go to the doctor and they keep you there for a while and they say, well, you got this and that and this and that and such and you only got such and such to live. But it's for your good. Why? Because you see, when they tell you this thing, little do they know they don't got this final say so, but God do. Because he's Alpha and Omega. The beginning and end. He's all that we can and will.
Amen, amen.
He set everything up for our good. So when you come to God, when you say, God, here I am. God, I'm coming to your place.
Amen.
God, I need you. God, I want you. God,
Yes, God.
I see what you're doing for such and such, and I want that too. God, I want you to come into my life, just like you did the others.
Man.
Right then and there, things get set up for your good.
All right.
The fact that you was out there doing things in the world, smoking weed and cussing, drinking, partying all night, that sets you up for when you got saved.
All right now.
Because it's for your good. When you lost mama or daddy and you was up there crying all night, who was there? It was nobody but God.
Yeah.
Why? Because he was saying, even though you're gone, I'm setting you up for something greater. Even though this hurts you right now and it's paining you, it's for your good. Just like when you was a child and you would do something bad and mama or daddy would whoop you, then what would they say? They said, baby, I'm not doing this because I want to, but I'm doing it because I want to make it better.
All right now.
Because it's for your good. You can't be out here doing it.
Man.
So just like God, they set you up.
Yes.
For your good. I need somebody that know what I'm talking about.
All right now. Come on right now. Yes.
No matter what hell comes,
Yes.
it's for your good.
Yes.
Feel that sickness in your body and what the doctors say, it's for your good.
Yes.
God's got the final say so.
Yes.
So when you're laying down on your sick bed and people are crying and moaning, ailing and wailing, talking about we got to make preparations and you get up off your sick bed. It was for your good. You showing them that not only am I trusting and believing in God, but you should too.
All right now.
In my body and I can't get well, God still got me.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't got no money in the bank and I'm homeless right now. God still got me. You know, I ain't got a job right now. I can still pay my good bills. Why? Because it was going on.
All right now.
I may have been getting a little too old to be working. I may be a little weary and tired right now. So God laid me off, but it was for my good. Kind of like when you walking somewhere and God, you just hear somebody say go to the left instead of going to the right. It was for your good.
Yes.
Kind of like when you're going somewhere or somebody said you shouldn't go this way. You shouldn't hop on the freeway because there was an accident. They told you that for your good.
Yeah, right now.
Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah.
Man.
Just like how when God says, when you come to me, your lambs to the slaughter, it's for your good. Why? Because when you get done running this race, when you get done praying, when you get done fasting, when you get done doing the work that God has called you to do, He's going to set you up with a mansion where you can have all that you want, everything that you need.
Yes.
Walk the streets of gold.
Come on now.
Gold. You can walk through those pearly white gates and talk and walk with Jesus as long as you want to. You can praise God like never before.
Yeah.
Nobody worrying about you, saying you're crazy, talking about you, slandering your name. Ain't gonna be no more crying, no more dying. You can go and sweep through the city all you want. You can scream and shout, and it's gonna be all right because that's what we was made to do in the first place.
Amen.
It was for our good. So when we praise down here, we set ourselves up for our good.
Yes.
When we step off this body and we get our brand new body, when we get our white robe and our crown and our brand new shoes, it is for our good. Now, just like Joseph, I know somebody that had a thing that was for their good.
Man.
His name was Jesus. I'm going to say that one more time.
Yes.
His name was Jesus.
Yes.
His name was Jesus.
Jesus.
He came and wrapped himself in this worldly flesh. He went up through the years, going through, being talked about, persecuted, had his name slandered, his personality and character slandered, but why it was for his good. I remember in the Word it says that he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, and he was being tried by the devil, but it was for his good.
Man.
Why? Because he said, Lord, not my will, but your will. So he began to walk off, and the people came and got him. They took him into bondage. Not only that, but they talked about him.
Man.
The very same people that said, God, we love you. God, we trust you. God, we believe you. God, we have faith in you. God, no matter what, I'm going to stay with you even in the car. They were the same people that said, go get that no good Negro. They was the same people that said, I don't know him. It was the same people that sat there and threw rocks at him. It was the same people that cheered when they beat him, when they whipped him, when they talked about him.
Yes.
When they had to drive that cross all the way to the hill. It was the same people that said, oh well. It was the same people that was trying to egg them on. If you're the Son of God, why don't you...
Come on now.
Why don't you take care of this situation right now?
Yes.
If you're truly the Son of God and you have all this power, why don't you just change right now? Why don't you just send these people off? Why don't you do something great? But he said, I can't do that right now.
Man.
I can't get rid of them right now. I can't give up. I gotta keep on pressing my way. I gotta keep going even though I'm tired. Keep going even though I'm bleeding right now. I gotta keep going even though they beat me. Even though I'm tired. Even though I feel like I'm about to go on to glory. I gotta keep on pressing my way. So then they put a thorn on his, a crown of thorns on his head. And they continued to whip him. They continued to beat him. They continued to stone him. All the way till he got to that hill. And when they got to the hill, they placed that cross up. Then they nailed his hands. They nailed his feet. They stabbed him in the side. But right then they set us up for our good. So based
started to work out for our good. Now they took him down and they put him in a borrowed tomb. I don't think nobody caught that part right there where I said borrowed. You see, when you're borrowing something, you don't plan on having it too long. When you borrow something, you ain't gonna keep it. When you borrow something, you're gonna give it back when you're done with it. When you borrow something,
Come on, Ray.
so you ain't gonna have it too much in your possession. So he laid there one Saturday, night and day, but early. Sunday morning, he got up, and he got up. He wouldn't lay there too long. He got up, he pushed that stone away, and he got up with all power. Not a little bit, but all power in his hand.
Where you going? Where are you going? Go that way.
That was far good. See, I don't know about y'all, but I had a place for my good situation where I didn't like what I was going through, where I would cry at night, where I would weep, but joy came in the morning. Why? Because he went to Calvary. Why? Because they pierced him in his side, and the blood began to run down for my good. See, I don't know about y'all, but when we go through as a Christian, it's for your good. When you lose your house, it's for your good. When you get sick in your body, it's for your good. When mama or daddy go on the glory, it's for your good. When you ain't got no job at the time, it's for your good. When you go through all kinds of hell and high water, it's for your good. When your kids ain't acting right, it's for your good. When your spouse ain't acting right, it's for your good. Because it sets you up for something better. It sets you up for a surprise. It sets you up for an uncalled blessing. But all you got to do to make sure that you keep that, all you got to do is make sure that it continues to stay for your good is praise in the meantime. Even though you're tired in your body, you're weary, you're weak, you don't know what you're going to do, you don't know how you're going to pay the bills, you don't know how you're going to make it. Just praise him in the meantime. Why? Because when you praise, that means whatever you got coming your way, that's for your good, even better.
Amen.
See, if I just had about 3 people that really understood what I was talking about, they'd kind of be running, screaming, shouting, jumping. All I need is praise. It's truly a blessing when you got God and you go through something. And he says, it's all right, I got you in the palm of my hand. What you're going through, I won't carry you. What you're going through, I still got you. Why? Because it's for your good. That pain, that sickness, that hurt, that cross that you rock, the old cross that you're running with, that cross that you're getting when you get weaker and weaker, it's for your good. Even though you're tired, it's for your good. Even though you're crying all night, it's for your good. You see, Kim, kind of like when you got sick in your body, it was for your good, you see, because he set you up for something greater. You see, you thought things were good right then and there, but God said, wait, no, I need to show you that there's still some good.
All right now.
I still got some stuff for you. So when man said it was over, God said, no, because you still got some good. You see, Pastor, when you lost your daddy, then you lost your grandmother. God was saying it's for your good. Because in that time, he brought you closer to him. In that time, he gave you what you needed, what you wanted. It was for your good.
Amen.
You see, when the devil tried to come and take some of us out, it was for our good. Because he needs to let us know that it ain't over yet. You still got some stuff coming your way. Even though you thought it was the end then, you still got to press your way. Why? Because whatever you're going through, what I set you up for,